Welcome, guys, back from New York City here. Watching the Challenger League of WCS America. Of course, the round of 16 of the Premier League is going to be live here in studio New York City all next week, Monday through Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern. Be sure to tune into that. But right now, we're covering the Challenger League, trying to find out who's going to get back into Premier League and which newcomers are going to get into Premier League for potentially the first time. We just saw Oz fall to Jim 2-1, and now we have our next match of the night. It's going to be Capoch versus Tilea, PVT. However, it looks like there is a disturbance in the force.
You know what's interesting is that Capoch probably, he's the best player from Argentina.
Yes.
An insanely skilled player from there, of course. We did see him unfortunately fall in the Premier League round 32, but he put forth a lot of cool games, a lot of aggressive play coming from him. And he's played so many RTS games. He's basically one of the most experienced RTS players out there, top player from Argentina. He's going up against Tilea, who a lot of people don't know much about her, but she's actually the only player from New Zealand in WCS America.
New Zealand is southeast of Australia. Yes? East of Australia?
I'm getting my east and west is mixed up here. It's very
It's
near
to the right side of Australia, isn't it? Nick, you are something. See, when I put you on the spot, it's not going well this week. I asked him about another city in Kansas, and he can't name anything but Kansas City.
My geography's terrible, man.
I think it's to the east.
I'm sorry.
For all you New Zealanders out there, I apologize on Nick's behalf.
Yeah.
I know where you guys are. But yes, I was talking about disturbance in the forest, and that's because we lied to our audience. We said it was going to be PBTs, but Tilea actually plays random, which a lot of people know.
Well,
so,
mostly Terran Zerg.
right. So she's actually playing Zerg in game 1. And she has, I think she has the flexibility to change throughout the throughout the match. So
And she may change to Terran. She's not going to change to Protoss, I'll tell you that. She used to play random, but now she's gone away from Protoss.
Yeah.
More with Terran Zerg.
pretty interesting developments here. Of course, I'm asking if the players are ready. They're in the lobby right now, but and they are. So I'm hitting the start game button. So Tilea is going to be playing Zerg. Capoch is going to be playing Protoss. So we're going to have a PVZ in game number 1. In you know, this could change as far as, you know, when game 2 happens.
For those of you guys who may not recognize Tilea, she used to play under the name Kiwi Light, also named Knight. So if you're up there, like, you know, Top Master or GM on the NA ladder, you probably recognize those names over the past year. So she's been around. Of course, not quite as well known of a player, but very, very good player from New Zealand against a very good player for Argentina.
Yes.
PVZ on Whirlwind is going to be very exciting.
Absolutely. PVZ slowly. You know, I think it always has been my favorite matchup, but it's like solidifying its spot as one of my favorite matchups because of
it's so fun and hard
the
to
sheer variety that can happen. It's just staggering, all the different strategies we're seeing. So we'll see what happens in this game number 1 of this oh so important best of 3 to decide who is going to advance to the next round of the bracket stage of Challenger League and who's going to drop down to the group stage. Bottom right-hand location, we got the red Protoss player hailing from Argentina, representing team Isurus Gaming. He is Capoch. What is the official primary language in Argentina?
Spanish.
You see, you do know some stuff, Nick.
I know some stuff. Of course,
I'm proud of you, Nick.
at the bottom left of Whirlwind, we have Tilea.
Blue Zerg player. So, speaking of geography, Whirlwind, the map. Lots of interesting opinions on this map. You know, obviously the apparent thing is going to be they're close by air-ish. Bottom right, bottom left. It's not like they're cross map. So that can create some interesting scenarios as far as, all right, which third do I take as a Zerg? Do I take the one that's a little bit closer? Do I take the one that's a little bit further back? And of course, as Protoss, do you take the one that's closer, or do you take the one that's further back? So, you know, these decisions as the game goes along are going to be interesting to observe. But we're going to see a gateway opening here from Capoch.
Gateway openings have been getting more and more popular in StarCraft 2 and Heart of the Swarm. Mothership Core being an essential part to the Protoss arsenal. Mostly just because you're not worried about getting the cannon into wall, because they send a few Zerglings at you, you just get the Mothership Core and it can just shoot them down. Whereas before, it would be really annoying to deal with those Zerglings in your base, so you'd always want to get that wall and the cannon up as fast as possible. Tilea going straight for the gas after hatchery first pull and then gas, of course.
Yes. Of course, she spotted the lack of the fast nexus, the lack of a pylon forge at her opponent's natural expansion, so deciding to go for that early gas just to stay as safe as possible.
This is kind of interesting. A third hatchery before Queen's, even when she got a gas this fast, which is going to cause her to have to delay some of... I guess, I mean, it's a small delay in a second queen, but actually the third hatchery is so fast, it seems like it's a really good idea.
Taking guys off of gas right away, only getting enough for speed, so going to be attributing the rest of her resources to drones, queens, and Zerglings, potentially spine crawlers. At this point in time, going to start maneuvering those overlords into positions where they could potentially scout a little bit later. Meanwhile, Capoch placing down 2 gateways at his natural expansion, going up to 3 gates, chrono boosting the Cyber Core a bit. Mothership Core is on the way, so he does have the potential here to go for some 3-gate aggression. Might go for some 4-gate aggression. Only has 1 gas. I think Capoch has been watching some GSL, possibly.
It does look like it. This is a very strong build. But Tilea has scouted it.
Yeah. That
and seeing the chrono boost on the warp gate. Like, if there's any, in 1 gas, if there's any doubts at all about what Capoch is up to, there's 0 doubts now. That Zergling is a true champion.
Gosh. I'm so surprised Capoch let that happen.
How does a champion Zergling get taken out by a probe?
It was a champion probe. That's the only logic that makes sense in my mind.
It's a disgraceful way to die. But Capoch with that pylon. Oh, Tilea scouts it with the Zergling.
Scouted the
pylon. So important.
I think the probe is still alive, though. The probe is still alive. He can put down another pylon.
But he really wants warping units right now. He's still doing it. Can't you take down the pylon? The warping's going to finish. The speedies have to retreat. Of course, there's no +1 on the Zealots.
That pylon is so close. The third. Very low in health.
I'm pretty sure Tilea holds.
Yes. Time Warp going down, trying to slow those lings down a little bit.
Maybe a hasty engagement from Tilea there, actually. Surprised she went for that.
3 queens here, though, but gonna retreat.
Oh, off creep, the Zealots!
Creep, trying to get close to the creep.
And 1 Zealot trying to pass them.
Oh, great micro with the Zealots surrounding 2 queens there. Oh gosh, so many Zealots here across the map. This all started with how fast, how close that pylon got down across the map. Remember, Tilea saw all of this. I think she's going to definitely have to give up this third.
Well, no, she saw the build, but she didn't keep track of probes across the map. So that pylon got up in a situation where ideally it wouldn't have. If she can kill this pylon off, though, just another one being built. Yeah. More and more pylons keep coming up, one after the other. The third is going to go down. But remember, Zerg is actually fine losing their third to this build because of how committed it is from the Protoss opponent, as long as they can, still have a decent drone count and clear up the attack. But the question is, how easily can she clear up the attack when there's so many Zealots on the field? At
what point do you throw down a Roachboard and start mining gas again? I mean, Lings against Zealots at this point is seeming very difficult, considering how, the Zealots are scaling up ridiculously. 12 Zealots on the field right now. All Tilea has are Queens and Zerglings. 28 Lings in production, but the Zealots are marching into the natural expansion. Capoch playing this so well so far, and just continuing to get that damage done.
Oh, the Queens are so important. So many Queens being massacred here. Again, trying to take out those pylons. Of course, this build is often defended with just speed beams. If you keep killing the pylons, you never let this Zealot count get this high. As it is, though, I think there's just too many Zealots.
I'm scared to hit you this loss.
So many.
But I'll do it. 2850 to 1200.
Oh man, this is just getting worse and worse for Tilea. There's still another. Every time she kills a pylon, there's like 2 more popping up. Capoch is he may be surpassing Huck as a master of building pylons right by the opponent's base. Another pylon being focused down here. But again, there's still that pylon up at the third base.
Yeah, that third is definitely going to fall. The national expansion. Plenty of Zealots running in there as well. And Tilea continuing to add on Lings, trying to add on Queens as well. But I don't know what she can do from here, to be completely honest.
I mean, she's killing a couple Zealots, but they're warping in 4 at a time. The speedlings seem to be, you know, producing basically 16 speedlings for each time those Zealots are warped in, and not quite able to keep up with that production. Another burst of speedlings is about to enter the field, but, I mean, it's only about 2 speedlings per Zealot, where you really need 3 to 4.
Natural expansion is almost down, that hatchery down to 158 health. Only 1 worker killed here for Capoch, which is relatively interesting. But honestly, how much does it matter at this point? The natural is definitely going to fall. Ling's still trying to desperately hold. The pylons are still alive on Telea's side of the map. Nothing but Ling's in production, but now her production is going to be stunted because there's only 1 hatchery now.
2 queens trying to make their last stand in the mineral line of Telea's primary base. Drones now coming off the action. Of course, more and more Zealots streaming forward. Mothership Core getting action, and that's going to force the good game.
So, what we can learn from that is scouting the build is fine, but you got to make sure those pylons don't get up. Because if those pylons get up, it's not going to be fun. If the pylon does get up, though, at the very least, just try to target that pylon down. Choose your engagements very wisely. Don't engage too early. Don't overextend. But that was just a case of Tilea not able to recognize those pylons.
Quite in time.
Exactly. And perhaps choosing to engage the Zealots a little bit too early at times, but...
I mean, really, it was... This game looked like her defense never had a chance, but it was literally a 4-second game. If she spotted that pylon or got the Zergling to that location 4 seconds faster, she would have killed it before that first warp in hits. If you stop the first warp in, you stop the entire push. It's done, and the game goes on from there with you having a nice advantage. So it was just, you know, she didn't spot the pylon until it was finished. The Zergling ran by, and you can't have that happen. You have to keep track of the probes on the map. At the very least, if a probe gets right next to your third base, you have to know about it immediately, not know about it after the pylon is complete.
All right, guys, Tilea falls in Game 1. Capoch taking a 1-0 advantage in this best of 3. You're watching WCS America Challenger League, day number 4. We're trying to find out who's going to get back into Premier League. The winners of all these matches advance to the next round of the bracket stage. Stay tuned. Game 2 between Tilea and Capoch coming up.